Today we're going to do an Uber. I just received an order now from Coco's Bakery and Restaurant. So I have received 2 orders now. I will go deliver them right now. Let's see how much money we're gonna make by the end of the day. So now I received $8 for this order. I'm leaving this place now. I will go to another place and the time now is 7:57. And now I'm here at Rancho Cucamonga. So I was in Upland and then I delivered to Ontario. It wasn't far. It was for 5 minutes closer. I don't know whether you know it or not. But when you open the application itself, you will find that there is some spots. You'll find it's colored yellow. I have red here and yellow, and then you have here maroon. How you know which places can pay you more? When you go here, you can see here in the screen, they will show you which one having more money. So you find the map is different in colors, so you can see which places you want to go there. You head there, so you stay there till you receive an order. So now I will head to the place. See, okay, we will go to Fontana and Rancho Cucamonga, and the time now is 8:30. I will go to Victoria Gardens, as this is a place full of restaurants, cafes, so I can receive many orders there. So now the time is 9:48. So after 2 hours from receiving the first order, I am here now at Rancho Cucamonga, Victoria Gardens, and I just received an order now from Badass Burritos. Let's go inside and get the order that we received. It's very busy in the morning. Hey, how's it going? So I just now received the 2 orders that I have to deliver. It's 13 minutes from here and I'm going to receive $13 for them. Just deliver it here at the car showroom. Very beautiful car. Now the second order to deliver it will take me 13 minutes to deliver it. In total, 26 minutes. And I'm just gonna receive $13. I didn't know this. So I just now delivered the second order here in this area. I delivered this order now here in Rialto, and the first one was delivered in Fontana. And now I'll head back to Victoria Garden to receive another orders, and the time now is 10:24. We already received for this order $13. So after being waiting for almost an hour in the parking lot, I have received an order now from here, Silver Lake. Guys, so just now received the order now. Let's see how many minutes. Oh la la, 16 minutes, guys. 16 minutes to deliver the order, and we're only gonna receive $8 for this order. Don't know what's wrong. Today's Sunday, supposed to be, it's high here, but it doesn't seem like it at all. Guys, so just now delivered the order here to this neighborhood in Fontana, and now I will head back to the Victoria Gardens. So the time now is 12:41, and I just received an order now from Corner Bakery. It's 16 minutes from here to deliver it, and the time now is 12:44. While I was driving and heading to the destination to deliver the order, I have received another order from here, and now I'm waiting to pick up the order. The time now, guys, is 1:23, and imagine, guys, I was almost 4 minutes away to reach to the person that I have to deliver the order to, and then they told me there's another order to pick it. So I pick it. I thought it's gonna be for the same person maybe, or even the order will be ready for me to pick it. But I came here and the order was still preparing it. It took like around maybe 15 minutes to prepare it, and then I received a message from the person that I have to deliver. He said, "Where are you? Why it's taking so long?" So I had to explain to him. So now we reached the place. This is the place. Finally.
Turn right, then turn right.
And then, okay guys, I just now delivered the food here into this compound, see? So now I have 2 minutes to deliver the other order, which is really good. And I received additional $13. Now it's 1:43 and I delivered the order to the opposite compound. The time now is 2:09 and I just received another order from Kabuki Japanese. I was trying to search for a parking. I kept going around, going around. This is one of the challenges that's hard to find a parking, but thank God we have found a parking and I parked the car. And now I'm heading to pick up the order. We received $15 for this order. Oh my God, the sun is horrible. The sun is so hot, so you feel the heat, you know. As I was telling you, the weather is really hot. It's so sunny. You need to drink water all the time. You need to keep yourself hydrated. Otherwise, you can get faint. By default, you start thinking about the people who are really poor, doesn't have a shelter, doesn't have an AC, who are not living this normal essence, normal needs that we have. And especially people under the oppression, hard situation they're living. Like now, after I entered the car and I turn on the AC, still the AC, it's on and everything, but still I'm sweating and I feel like I'm in sauna, really. Yes, we get this feeling that's so hot, oh my God, I can't handle it. And then we go home and we have our shelter, and then we sit in the AC, we have our water available, but we have to always think about the people who doesn't have these things available for themselves, like the countries which is in poverty, all the refugees living in tents. We have to appreciate the blessings that we have, the graces that we have. Imagine the homeless that living in the streets, they don't have a shelter. So when we be in this same situation as them, we will feel it more. We will know the suffering they are suffering. Guys, we have received another order now from Wingstop. Now take the order. Okay guys, so we received the order and it's 5 minutes from here. So guys, really, we should, every time we feel that we cannot handle this weather and we are in need of water, this should let us feel the people who are in hunger, people who are in poverty, people who need our help. Because if we have any money, we will be asked for this money. How we had spent this money. Did we only spend it on our leisures only and our pleasures? Or we have donated our money to help other people? The main reason we are here in this life, we are caliphs for the Creator. He created us to worship Him. This is the main purpose of being here, so worshiping Him. Yes, there is a praying and getting connected with Him, and this is something for your own soul. This connection between you and Him, this is a relation between you and Him, so no one knows about it and it has its own holy feeling. But there is another relation with others, how you really care, how you really a giver. This is very important, and what actions you're taking with the current situation. So I just now delivered the 2 orders that I had. One I delivered to the house and the other one I delivered to the Central Park here. This is the Central Park. Let me show you around. This is the Central Park. It's a huge park, people to come and have good time. So I'm gonna get out from here now. It's from here.
Turn left, then turn
There's a community center over there, like a whole room, multi-purpose. I thank Allah, God, that we have this blessings, these graces that really other people, they want a little bit of it, you know, because sometimes we don't see the value of it unless we lose it, you know. This is, by the way, this is also one of the reasons that why we fast, Muslims, that we don't drink and we don't eat anything from the sunrise to sunset, to feel the poor, to feel the poverty, and also it's healthy as well, good for to get rid of the toxins in your body and to make you disciplined as well. But what I was telling you guys, that we have, whenever we see a homeless, whenever we see someone need the help, as much as we can we try to help, but as long as it doesn't gonna harm us, even if it's something happened bad for you, whether you're trying to do something nice, for sure you have a huge reward from Allah, but has said don't throw yourself in a dangerous, so no, don't put yourself in troubles. The other thing that we have to speak up, whether they're Muslims, non-Muslims, how they're suffering from the current situation they're living, and we try to provide them the shelter, the food, the water, the assistance they need, the aids they need. And the other thing we should really contemplate about, that imagine that a small little heat that we cannot handle it. It's so hard, you feel like you cannot, like when you touch anything, it's so hot, you feel like it's burning your hand. I just want you to imagine this, that in the judgment day, if God forbid you have made a huge sins in your life, and you will be punished for it, and you will be thrown in hell, and your body will be recreated again after you got burned, and each burn is happening to you, you're feeling each single moment of it. You keep living in this suffering, paining, for only Allah knows for how many seconds, for how many minutes, for how many hours, for how many days, for how many weeks, for how many months, for how many years. This is with our calculations, as we know. We don't know up in the sky, the judgment day, what will be the duration of the punishment. That's so terrifying. This has to make you be worried. Are you ready for this? Of course, Allah is the most merciful, but still, He is the judge. He's the justice. He will not gonna leave anyone. He said, if you did an atom of goodness, and if you did an atom of bad, you will be reckoning for this. You will be rewarded, or you will be punished for this. And the idea is not about to get afraid from the Creator. God has said in the Quran clearly that the reason why He has shown some people the punishment, if we are talking about the people of Lut, people of Saleh, the people of Hud, what happened to Pharaoh, and even Noah, the flood that happened, all these punishments, all these miracles that happened, it was as a lesson for the people who will come after. So it's not a way to terror you or to terrifying you, a way as a reminder, as a way, a waking up call to let you get back to Him, you know. So we have always to pray and ask Him for forgiveness, ask Him to help us to get more closer to Him, because there's no way else to get closer to Him more than asking Him to get closer to Him, you know. When we are sad, He's the one we get back to. When we are happy, He's the one we get back to. When we have a lot of blessings, He's the one we're thanking Him for. So all these things, we should always keep remembering it, and we don't get tempted with all the things around us in this world, you know. All this can fade away in a second. I'm waiting to receive an order. I didn't receive any order till now. Let me show you what I'm doing, guys. See, when you see the map itself, the one I showed to you about the chart itself, it will show you that some particular restaurants, you will find them the color, it's the maroon color, as I told you. So now what I'm doing, I'm standing beside this place so they can detect that I'm closer to it, so I can receive this order first. Of course, not all the orders came after each other. It took some time. It took like 1 hour, sometimes half an hour, but some orders came directly after each other. When I was going, like, they gave me 2 orders to deliver at the same time. While I was delivering the order, I received another order. That's really nice. Happened like this, that you already accept an order and then you get another order, the higher paying. So that's really nice. So I want you guys to guess in the comments below how much money did you make till now, for just a few seconds. While you look here, so they have a very nice, big number of restaurants is over here. You have a lot of evening cafes and everything. There, the 7 grams. This is the one I'm waiting for. They have kiosks, they have seating area, even they have retail shops, all this. And of course I parked all the way far away there so I can come all the way here because there's no any other parking. So guys, we made till now $77, which is nice. Let's see how much money we'll make by the end of the day. The thing which is really annoying, I reached to the restaurant and I was waiting still in maroon color, and then suddenly it disappeared totally as there's no any color and it became transparent. And then I found another restaurant which is starting to turn to maroon. But seriously, I don't know. I feel like it's 3 p.m. now, so I think I'm gonna go home, pray, eat, and then come back and then start working again from 5 till 11 maybe. Today's Sunday, so usually the restaurants and the cafes, they close at 8 p.m. because tomorrow's Monday, so they have to rest for a while, you know. So let's see how the day will go. Stay tuned. Right guys, so as you can see, I went home, I changed my clothes, and now the time is 6:31. I stayed for almost like 2 hours. I prayed, I ate, I came back to Victoria Garden here, and I just received an order now from here. Sweet green. Let's go inside and get the order. So the time now is 6:41. I just picked up the order from Sweet Green, but I think it took long for me. It wasn't ready, so I waited for maybe around 10 minutes. And now I have another order to go pick. It's from here as well, from Beard's Papa. The total for the 2 orders will be $24. So yeah, it's 6:42 now. This is Beard Papa's, the one I told you about it, guys. Guys, I just now received the order. Now I'm heading to the place to deliver the order. I'll deliver this one first. This is what's shown to me. It's 14 minutes from here. So sadly, we reached to the end of the video. I went all the way to Victoria Garden after I have delivered the 2 orders I have received. One order was on Ontario and the other one was on Upland. Then I went back again to Victoria Garden. I kept waiting for a while, maybe more than an hour, and then I didn't receive any order. But I'm so exhausted, so I said to myself, enough. I have woke up at 5:30 a.m. in the morning, and tomorrow I have to wake up early as well to work as well. So I said, no, this is enough. I need to rest, you know, because I was falling asleep while I'm driving, and this is dangerous. So we reached now to how much money did we make. We have been online for 11 hours and 48 minutes since 7 a.m. in the morning till the time now is 8:39. Online means going around, you know, it means trying to receive orders. So I'm online on the phone, but I didn't receive orders for all these hours. I only received orders for 3 hours and 57 minutes. So in 3 hours and 57 minutes, this is where I was active. This is how the system is in Uber. So active means I've been receiving orders and I've been delivering orders. So I made total in this 3 hour and 58 minutes, $115. If we divided $115 for the 4 hours, 115 divided, let's say 4 hours. So it means I made $28 in an hour, but it's not like this. It's 115 divided the time we were working. Let's say 8. This is, you've been outside, you've been waiting. So 8 means $14 per hour. It's less than the average. The average should be 16 now, 18 now even. So this is very low. But if we say divided, let's say 6, make it average. So 115 divided 6, so $19. If we say that we did it for 6 hours, we made $19. So today was supposed to be a very busy day. It's Sunday and it's Victoria Garden. If this is your first time to do Uber Eats, you have to put in consideration 2 things, which is very important. First of all, that you should leverage your time in a way that you make more money in your hours. I have been receiving some orders, but it was $4, $7. So usually I don't accept this because I'm saying to myself, if I take this order and I go deliver it, when I come back, I might lose another orders. So I'm trying to aim for bigger orders. And the also another good tips that you should do, closer to the restaurants, which is fancy, which is, you know, that this restaurants, it will give you more money. And how you do this, when you open the application of Uber itself, when you open the application, you will find, this is how it is, okay? You see the colors, some are yellow, and some are orange, and some are maroon, like red. So the one which is close to red colors, it means this is a very busy area, like more money. But usually, even if it's 4 signs of dollars, then it's better what to do. It's better to go to the restaurants, which is, you know, it's fancy. You know, people when they order from there, it's expensive. So for sure, they will be giving good tips. For example, like Sweet Green, this one of them, Kabuki, also Cheesecake Factory, PF Chang's, 7 grams. This is in Victoria Gardens, I'm saying. Fish Grill, and this kind of restaurants which is in the neighborhood. Corner Bakery, so it depends. So yeah, this was my experience today. I hope I have covered everything for you, and I hope this video was beneficial for you. If you find so, please share it with the people you know who is interested to work as Uber Eats. I want you to know as well that beside Uber Eats, I'm doing another things. I have my own business as a bakery and desserts. I do many things. So I have another ways to make money. Of course, when you keep working more and more and more, you will keep getting notice in the application itself. So you keep like upgrading yourself, upgrading your rank, your performance will get better. So you will be getting more orders, higher fares. It will come after. This is what really will make a difference for you. So at the end, it's your choice. I want to know also your point of view, your opinion. I would love to hear it from you in the comments below. And thank you for your time. And if this is your first time to see me, your brother Ali was with you today. And see you soon in a new video. May peace be upon you with Allah's mercy and His blessings.